This year's Rimpac is the largest iteration to date, and organisers say a decommissioned warship will be sunk in a live fire sinking exercise, or SINK-X. Reports say they will use the former amphibious assault ship USS Tarawa. Let's take a look. So, Ronan, why is this SINK-X seen as sending a pointed message to China?
Yeah, so we have to understand that Rimpac basically showcased the collective strength and readiness of U.S. and allied forces. And in terms of the syntax, it involves, for example, the decommissioned USS Tarawa. It sends a very clear signal of the operational capabilities of the U.S. forces and its allied. Right, so the reason why it's sending a very pointed message to China because it suggests potential consequences of any possible Chinese aggression, particularly in the Taiwan Strait and also the South China Sea contingencies.
Tony, collective strength there, as Ronan said, but why particularly China? How do they see this particular ship, 40,000-ton amphibious assault ship, as targeting China?
I guess it wants to make sure China understands that as they develop carriers, it is vulnerable to the collective defense of the coalition. So I believe that's why they selected this ship.
Okay, so is it to do with Captain Yen, the fact that only China is the only country to be operating this size of ship in this region?
Yes. I think POA Navy now is, in the last 3 decades, they've been modeling U.S. Navy. So whatever U.S. Navy has, they will try to build and own those kind of capability. Now they have 3 or 4 amphibious assault ships now, and it was reported that could be totally 8 of them. And it was saying they will use this, in U.S. term, they called it the amphibious assault ships, and with the task force, they called it expeditionary amphibious strike force. So it's a major force to use to grab land or grab islands. So in the future, armed conflict between both sides of Taiwan Strait, the LHA, this amphibious assault ship, might be the major weapon system to deliver land forces on Taiwan. So that's very important. And they are building this capability. You see, now U.S. only has about 9 amphibious assault ships. Now they're going to build 8. So in terms of capability, they are almost equal in the next 10, 20 years' time.
Right.
So it's growing very fast.
Right, yeah. And Captain Yen, staying on you, how would you say that this year's Rimpac is different to previous iterations?
I think the difference is focus more on, even though officially they did not say that this exercise is aiming at any countries, but I believe this the exercise is to show this international unity and determination to defend against any country's assertiveness or aggressiveness in this area. So currently you see which country is doing things like that. Aggressiveness and assertiveness is only one country, right? So it's very obvious.
This was in the Global Times. It says that the US hopes to once again hype up the China threat and rhetoric and intensify regional tensions through staging this Rimpac exercise. What do you make of that?
Well, used to be, Rimpac was a way to build camaraderie, truly without its specific enemies. But if you look at the motto of this year's Rimpac, partners, integrated, prepared. What does it mean? Integrated, basically, we are showing our partners in a command structure, the combined joint task force structure. Right now, the commander is the U.S. Navy 3rd Fleet Commander, Vice Admiral. Then we have Tiehlin Yen as his deputy, and the vice commander is the Japanese. And under him, there are the maritime component, the air component, land component, the special forces component. The maritime component is actually going to be a Canadian Commodore. The air component is going to be a Australian Air Commodore. And then other forces come together. So we are building a way to allow friends to understand if we have to work together, how does it work? And also, we want to make sure in the exercise that our systems can work together. That means we can communicate, we can share common operating picture, that my guys can service your airplane. Your airplane, if it lands on our ship, we can refuel it because we have the same structures, same connections. So the interoperability is another aspect where we're going to be building. And then we talk about prepared. The motto is prepared. Prepared for what? Prepared to face a common enemy. In this case, there's only one. Maintain a free and open South China Sea is everybody's interest. And having one country say, this is mine, I want to exercise my right of control, that makes China a common enemy.